So is the overhaul still on track?
Yes, look, Australia's $3 trillion superannuation system is serving Australians well, but it certainly isn't perfect. It's full of inefficiencies. Fees are way too high. You know, Australians pay around $30 billion in superannuation fees every year. That's more than they pay in their electricity bills. Duplicate accounts proliferate throughout the system, and there is a persistent tail of underperforming funds, and people get stuck in funds that aren't really living up to expectations. So we've been chipping away at those inefficiencies for the last couple of years, and the Your Future, Your Super legislation announced in last year's budget is the next step in that. So once this legislation is enacted, your fund will follow you from job to job automatically, rather than you having to tell your employer. There will be an online comparison tool on the ATO website that you can access through the ATO or through MyGov, so you can compare your fund to other funds that are out there on the basis of net returns and on the basis of fees. And that will create some competitive tension in the market. And on top of that, if there is an underperforming fund, they will have to notify their members that they have underperformed and direct them to that online tool. If they underperform 2 years in a row, they won't be allowed to take new members until their performance improves.
Given the status of housing affordability at the moment, Minister, which you would be aware of, everyone is at the moment, your colleague Tim Wilson, he believes that people should be able to withdraw super to be able to pay for a deposit on their first home. Do you agree with him?
Well, we've already allowed people to use superannuation to save for their first home through the First Home Loan Super Saver Scheme. So that allows you to access those higher returns that you can get in superannuation to save for your first home. But I think at this stage there is no plans to allow Australians to access a deposit for their first home through superannuation.
Do you think it should change? Do you agree with Tim that perhaps there is an idea there worth exploring?
I think the most important thing we can do now is make sure that people's superannuation is working hard for them. Superannuation is to save for your retirement. We want to make sure that Australians have the best retirement outcomes possible.
That's a no then. That's a no then, Minister.
Your words.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. All right. There's a few other news articles and this breaking news this morning. I just want to get your view on Facebook. Someone said this morning Facebook's taking its ball and going home. This is regards to news website, news access, to be able to access news via Facebook. That's basically gone this morning. It's taken people by a lot of surprise. Did it catch you by surprise?
It did catch me by surprise because Google has been so forward-leaning in its negotiations with News Corp, with Seven West and with other news organisations. I thought that was a very positive sign, and I know that the Treasurer will have more to say on this a little later in the day.
But you think the government should hold the line on this?
I think it's very important to maintain a vibrant and thriving news industry in Australia, and credible journalism is profoundly significant. Okay. And I think that's what we really need to concentrate on, that we can maintain that important investigative journalism and quality journalism in Australia.
Okay.